Give it a few minutes. We're going to record this one and put it online, but normally I'll put a post out and then ask for a little feedback, and now I'm kind of working this one backwards. So appreciate y'all joining in, and we'll just give it a few minutes. But we're going to talk about some big questions, y'all. We're going to talk about the big questions. And we're kind of building on some of the stuff that was posted in the past. So we'll do a little recap to beginning and then we'll get into the big questions. And I want to hear your feedback and your thoughts on it. This is my conclusions after studying this thing for a minute. So these are supposedly questions that a lot of people ask, and we'll see if the answers make sense. All right. So again, appreciate you guys joining in. We'll give it a few minutes, and this will be, I'll put the replay online for those that are catching this later. So if you're watching the replay, you missed out on the live. But this should be interesting. I kind of wanted to do this for a minute, so we'll go ahead and get into it. So as I mentioned, these are big questions, right? So So we're going to get into it. But before we get into the questions, right, just kind of want to mention this. So we talk about truth a lot, and truth is just reality. That's all it is. Truth is reality. So when we talk about getting in contact with the truth and things of that nature, we're just talking about getting in contact with reality. The truth is reality. We're not adding anything to it, okay? This isn't anything that you have to believe. This is things that you can prove to yourself. These are facts. Words are not reality. Right? Words are just kind of concepts. They kind of give us an idea of a concept. They're not the actual thing, right? The word is not the actual thing. A lot of people get caught up on words and think the words are the reality, and the word is the reality. But the truth is the reality, right? Words are just concepts. They help. And language is something that, we use to communicate, but it doesn't give you the full experience, right? It just gets you close. And we'll give a little example of that, and then we'll get into the questions. And any comments or whatever, let me know. I'll try to follow up. So lemon, we use this as an example. So this is the word lemon, and it will put an image of this in your head, right? So that's good. It gives you a concept of what a lemon is. If I said I have a fruit in my hand or something in my hand, and it's a lemon, that eliminates all the other things it can be. But that lemon is not this lemon. It's not the concrete thing. It's not the real thing. It's not reality. It's close, but it's not the real thing. You can't taste that. You can't grab that. You can't experience that, right? But it gives you an idea. It's just a concept. But this is the real thing, okay? So reality, and you are the real thing, right? What you're experiencing now is the real thing. And just wanted to kind of comment on that. So if I mention apple, and we'll take it a step further. If I mention apple, it gets you close, okay? You know it's not a lemon, but it still doesn't say what kind of apple, what color apple. It just gives you an idea. So it's a concept, but they're not concrete, right? And it still doesn't give you the experience of lemon, I got you. Still doesn't give you the experience of tasting the apple or the lemon, right? And the things that come along with it. So if I say apple and it's a concept, you got an idea in your head, whether it's red, whether it's sweet or sour, but this is the actual reality, right? This is the actual apple. So the same thing with the lemon. It just gives you an idea, a concept. And we're going to come back to this apple in a little bit, right? All right, so I just kind of wanted to mention this. So as a recap for the people that didn't see the first one, we're kind of building on what we've already established as far as we're multi-dimensional beings, right? So we're experiencing space-time, which is just 3D reality and one dimension of time. And we're experiencing that. So we're not our bodies. You can't have a body and be a body. And we're experiencing time. So we've concluded that we're outside of space-time. We're a fifth dimensional being, right? So when people say they're a spiritual being having a human experience, and the human experience is within space-time, the physical experience throughout time. But this is who we are, right? We're non-local consciousness or spiritual beings having a human experience. So let's build on that foundation. All right. And another thing I want to say, as we get into this, we're going to get into belief systems and we're going to get into dogma and things of that nature. We also did this concept of the whole awakening experience, of realizing that truth, that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. The world tries to limit us to be just in the physical. And using this example, awakening is getting above the clouds, right? But the world or this reality for the most part tries to keep us down here, tries to keep us in survival consciousness, try to keep us in lower levels, right? Keep us in fear and separation. And they use that, one of the tools that they use is belief systems, religions, doctrines, whatever. And we talked about words. These are just concepts, right? And this is all the turbulence that's here in these clouds. And you're the only pilot of your ship. No one else can fly your ship. No one else has the ability to fly your ship. No one else can control your ship. You are the only one that can control it. A lot of these belief systems, religions, and everything keep us grounded by saying someone else is going to come and fly our ships for us, right? Someone else is going to take the wheel. Someone else is going to do for us what we can do for ourselves. And it's worked for a while, you know, and there's powerful beliefs in the program and it's strong, and they use fear and other things of that nature. But remember, everything that's man-made is just a word. It's just a concept. We have to get to the concrete, the truth and the reality of it. And a lot of that truth is internal, right? So I just kind of wanted to mention this because, you know, some people are going to pull belief systems when we start getting into these big questions. And if it's written by man, it's in this cloud. It's part of the noise. So have your own experience, right? Don't take someone else's word for it. And you know, don't take my word for it either. Have your own experience. I'm just showing you some examples. So, you know, don't be programmed by me as well. Trust, but verify. Anyone, right? All right. So here are the big questions. All right. And you're probably not going to like the answers. And we'll try to keep this short because, again, I want to put this online. So we'll get into it. All right. Yeah, divide and conquer. Absolutely. Okay. Who am I? Right. Now, we talked about this before. We'll go into it, right? You're a spiritual being having a human experience. We talked about this, and this is building on the previous post, right? And we talked about it, at least a fifth dimensional being experiencing 4D reality, so space and time, okay? You can't have a body and be a body. When you say, I am feeling a certain way, or you can't have a car and be a car, okay? So we're experiencing the body and we're experiencing time. We're something outside of this reality, experiencing space and time, okay? So spiritual being having a human experience, I know we've heard that, but I try to look at it as simple of a way as I can explain it without adding any dogma, without adding any belief system. These are things that you can prove and experience yourself. We're trying to use common sense and common facts. And we can also look at it from a scientific standpoint, non-local consciousness awareness, right? So the consciousness that is experiencing the observer, if you will, that is observing this live, that is observing your body, observing your emotions, observing all the things that you're not, right? Again, to observe something, you have to be something other than it, right? And names don't do it justice or whatever, but you know, when you say I am, one of the names, you know, that's used is I am. But again, we talk about words and concepts. So let's not get hung up on words because your actual true being, words don't do it justice, right? It is what it is. And you have to experience. Words are not going to get you there. But when you say I am, whatever your name is, you're saying your true being and then the human aspect, right? So that's who you are, right? Spiritual being having human experience. Where do I come from, right? This is another one of the big questions, alrighty? So non-local conscious awareness. So non-local, and the question is kind of charged in a degree because it makes it seem like you're somewhere other than where you are. The thing is, your senses focus your awareness to your particular space and time, right? If you're looking at this live, you're looking at this phone, you got eyes, you got ears, you got all of your senses are focused on your particular point in space-time. All my senses are focused on this particular point in space-time. But the consciousness observer, that is who we are at our core, is observing all of this from a point that is outside of space and time, like we mentioned before. So you don't come from anywhere, right? You are already there. You're part of everything, right? You're already in the dimension outside of space and time. To come from something or to go to something, you're dealing with space. So your being is outside of space and time. So you are already there, right? The whole spiritual journey is removing what you're not to reveal what it is. And the whole journey takes you all the way back to where you are, right? So you don't come from anywhere and you're already there, okay? So let's get to the other ones. What is life's meaning? This is another big one, right? So life has no meaning, okay? And we'll get into this. So space and time have no inherent meaning, right? So this lemon has no meaning. The apple has no meaning. Electrons, protons, neutrons have no meaning. Meaning is subjective. We give ourselves the meaning, but life itself has no meaning, not inherently. Like the things that make up life don't have a meaning. So not saying that life is meaningless, but it doesn't have an inherent meaning. We, as co-creators, get to create the meaning for ourselves. It's a subjective thing. So that's another one. So what is life's purpose, right? So let's look at this one. What is life's purpose? So, and this is just my interpretation, right? Because if you look at what we're here to do, we're here to experience. We're here to learn. Education, that's part of evolution. If you look at the being that we are, it's got to this point of evolution through learning how to do things and how not to do things. And it's inherent and it's written in our DNA. That's how our body knows how to recreate ourselves, right? So experience, education, entertainment. This is supposed to be a joyful experience. We're not supposed to be here suffering and things of that nature, right? I mean, if you look at just nature in itself, it's abundance, it's balance. And humanity has, gotten itself into a pickle where it thinks it's separate from nature and is trying to conquer nature when we are part in one with the environment. So entertainment, enjoyment. So this is what I feel life's purpose is, right? To experience, spiritual beings having a human experience. Education, we're here to learn. Part of that is evolution, right? We're how the universe evolves through each and every one of us. We're nodes in the universe that are learning and evolving the bigger system. In entertainment, this is supposed to be fun. We have our senses for enjoyment, right? So that's life's purpose. Is there life out there, right? And we can say alien life. And I'll say absolutely. And I'll say it's reading this now, right? The universe is full of life, just as the earth is, and life exists in many ways. And it's arrogant to think we're the only ones in the cosmos. On our chemical makeup is nothing special, right? So we're aliens wondering if aliens exist. And if you look at the vastness of the universe, it's like a fish in a pond wondering. All right. So yeah, there's other life out there. Now it's a more in-depth thing to where they're from and all this stuff. But yeah, if we're the aliens to them, just like they're the aliens to us, right? Does free will exist? And I've seen things on this where some people think this thing is determined and free will doesn't exist. And yes, free will does exist. Humanity determines its own future, right? We have the ability to make choices. We're co-creators. So we're involved in the process of creation. Some of us default to other people's wills or other people's ideas of what we should and shouldn't do. But we have the free will to choose. You have the free will to watch this or not watch this, or to like it or not like it. You're making those decisions yourself. There's nothing deterministic. We don't have to play the script out that's given to us, okay? We have the ability to change it. Otherwise, then none of this would matter if free will didn't exist. But we have the ability to change. We all do. So free will does exist, and we're exercising that now. Does God exist, right? And that's the big one. Now, and again, the word God is charged with religion and things of that nature. And again, we talk about the concept versus the actual thing, right? A lot of people get caught up on God, and we'll kind of get into that, right? Because when I say God, I'm not talking about a man in the sky with a beard, or I'm not talking about an anthropomorphic projection. I'm talking about the no thing that is underlying everything, right? And if you think about, let's just look at the definition of God as all there is, okay? And if God is all there is, that also includes you, okay? Hey, like-minded people. Hey, what's going on, 365 Jess? Yeah, so it's everything including you, right? So you're part of that. You're part of that no thing that's underlying everything, okay? And we can call that whatever name you want. God is a charged term, I know, but people understand that word. But I like to use all there is, or you can use source, or you can use whatever word you want to use. And the word still doesn't do it justice, just like lemon doesn't do the actual lemon justice. Apple doesn't do the actual apple justice. It's just a concept. God is just a concept. The idea is to experience that part of you that is that for yourself. And that part of you is within you. All right? Hi, Snowbird. What happens when I die? Okay, this is another one of the big questions, right? What happens when I die? All righty. And again, this is just my thoughts on this. Nothing, right? Non-local conscious awareness does not die, right? So a spirit does not die. So the question, what happens when I die, is from the standpoint of you not being an immortal spiritual being to begin with, right? And death and life happen in space time, right? Happen in the 4D thing that we talked about earlier, which you are outside of. So you experience life and death, right? So you're already the part of you that is observing this space time, this 4D, right? The eyes, the person that is behind the eyes that is observing this is already outside of life and death. It is observing your life, and it will be there after your death, right? So that's the answer for that one. All right. Is there life after death? Okay. And this is kind of similar thing. We'll get into this. And I put depends, right? Because again, we're talking about the definition in the words life and there being another life after this. And again, we talked about before that your consciousness, your spirit is immortal already and does not die. So the being that is you experiences life and death from a dimension outside of it. When you die, you don't go anywhere. We talked about that before. You're already there and your attention is brought back to where you already are. Like if you think about it, if right now you're looking, you're hearing, you're seeing, you're breathing, you're doing all of these things, right? So when you quote unquote die, those inputs cease. But that doesn't mean that you cease. You just cease to get those inputs, right? And you are going to be where you are receiving those inputs, okay? So the reason I put depends here is because there's ideas of a heaven or a hell, and these are all, again, the doctrines that are in those clouds, right? Part of that turbulence. And it's part of the mystery as well, but we're already there. So part of the journey is just connecting with the piece of us that's already there. All right, is reincarnation real? All righty. Yes, conscious awareness reincarnates as humans all the time, right? So the consciousness that is observing your life when you pass away and decide to come back as someone else is the same consciousness. We're just one consciousness experiencing its creation from different perspectives. So when you see a newborn baby, that newborn baby is one with the same consciousness awareness that you are, right? So you can look at everyone that's being born as a reincarnation of you. And just look at nature. Just look at how it recycles and it rejuvenates its own thing, right? Does this apple reincarnate? When this apple falls to the ground and dies, does the seed in it reincarnate to another apple or a tree, right? So those same seeds are within you. And those seeds of awareness, seeds of consciousness are reincarnated all the time, right? Each human that comes in is just another aspect of yourself, right? And that's part of the spiritual journey. It's really getting into contact with the being aspect. And that being aspect is huge, right? It's beyond imagination, but it's also so personal that it's listening and experiencing this reality here, right? We are all one, and you're part of that one. You're proof of reincarnation, right? And that's it. Those were the big questions. And we kind of went through it quicker than I thought we would, but I appreciate that. And I'd like to know your thoughts. And we'll put this online. I know only a few people invite you to go live. Sure, we'll go live.
Hi, how are you?
Hello?
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Are
Good.
you pulling cards or something like that?
Oh no, I'm
Okay,
playing
go
Skippo.
for it. Cards or something like that?
Oh no, I'm
Okay,
playing
go
Skippo.
for
I'm
it.
playing Skippo with my daughter.
Ah, gotcha. So
So far it's
were you watching it live or
no, I just went to co-host with you.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, we were just talking about some big deep questions. So I didn't know if you had any comments or feedback. So
Oh, I didn't see it. What
you
were you
probably just not getting it.
my turn.
Hmm?
What were you guys talking about? Oh, sorry.
We were talking about stuff like is there a life out there? What's the meaning of life? Where do I come from? Who am I? Kind
All
of
great.
those big questions that a lot of people ask. So we were just kind of going through that.
Well, I think you're doing a fabulous thing. I think many people ask all of those questions and they don't know, especially in today's world. I mean, it's so corrupted as to what to believe.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's part of what we wanted to do is just because this is a conversation that you probably don't have in the open, and you may think it on your own, but just to share some ideas and just sharing my conclusions after researching this thing and exploring consciousness for a while. So just kind of wanted to share that and get some feedback.
Nice. So, are you a believer of God then?
Yes. Now we talked about that as far as the because God is a charged term. So when people say God, do you mean a man in the sky that believes this, that, and the other, or are you talking about the being that is within yourself, that is your that observes your life and other people's life? So it
When
varies.
I mean the one who created me, who lives in my soul, and I live for every day.
Okay, okay,
I
and
live every day to be more Christ-like and to do good.
gotcha,
Everyone
gotcha.
else one unto them.
Yeah, 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 and that's the thing. So what we talk about, or what I try to look at, is the whole "who am I" deal. So
Hmm.
a lot of us, and I was the same way. We're brought up in religious beliefs, and we're taught these doctrines and belief systems about other people, and most of the time they're built around other people's spiritual experiences, and we
Right.
rarely have our own spiritual experiences because we don't feel, for one, that we're worthy or whatever the beliefs is. But the thing is, the bigger question is not who are these people in the past, present, but who are we? Who are you? You know,
Right.
and that's something that only you can experience yourself. You know,
Right. And how can we make a difference here on earth today with what tools we have now?
absolutely, absolutely. I'm with you 100% on that. Yeah,
I'm so glad that there's other people. I mean, I know there's other people that believe like we do, and we know where we're going. But I do know I see tons of lost people, and it's devastating to see that they have no hope, no direction, or faith as to it's your turn. Faith as to where eternal life is going to take them after their life here on earth expires.
yeah. And when you say eternal life, so you were brought up Christian, I imagine.
Yes.
Gotcha. And I was as well. And not everyone questions those belief systems also. So there's more to the story than what we've been told. And that's
Right.
something that, a lot of people don't take a
Like, are
look.
you like the Book of Enoch and the lost books of the Bible that are not in the Bible that people consider just the Bible?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very
I
true.
mean,
Very true.
don't know. Are. My dad's a preacher, um, and I've always been raised around the Bible. So I mean, I have a 14-year-old daughter. That's all she knows as well.
Hmm.
That's who I'm Skippo with right now. Did you?
Gotcha. Gotcha. Cool. Cool. Well, I appreciate you jumping in. I was going to make this short because we're recording this and we're going to put it online, but appreciate you
Okay.
jumping in and giving your
Well,
feedback.
God bless you, and I will say a prayer for you guys. Okay, and thank you so much for duoing with me. I enjoyed having this chat.
All right. No, I enjoyed you coming in. I appreciate it.
Yep. God bless
Enjoy
you.
the card game.
Yep. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
All righty, y'all. Well, we're not going to belabor this one. We're going to keep it short. And I love to hear your comments, feedback. I'm going to put a post on this as well. So, you can comment and feedback on that. But that's what it boils down to. And the thing is, to not get caught up on this, we really get caught up on words. We take the words for reality, and words are not reality. And we need to have our own experience. That's really what it boils down to. So, hey, what's going on, Killer? Glad you could make it, Queen. So I appreciate you guys' time. Again, we're going to put this online, and I just wanted to get just kind of wanted to share this. When is the next one? So I'll probably do it again next Thursday at 7. So we'll do it again then, and it's cool to at least share some ideas with you guys in my reality. Normally don't have these conversations, but I think about it all the time because I really see the value in it, and I really see the this right here. The people that are kept down with these belief systems that are based in all of this turbulence, all of this separation. Pretty much everything that's quote unquote wrong with the world is due to a belief system, a doctrine that the other person is separate than you, or that we're separate from nature. You know, these imaginary beliefs, these imaginary lines, all of this stuff is imaginary. All of these things are based on words. That's why, you know, we talk about words, you know, and you can even go deeper than that, spells, spellbound, things of that nature. A lot of people are under a spell, and those spells do not give them the power to take control of their own reality and fly their own plane above the clouds to really see what they're capable of. This is the potential that we have, but a lot of people are just stuck on the ground, right? So, and I know I'm preaching to the choir for a lot of you guys, but part of the thing as well, and I mentioned this in the other video, is those of us that have already got our planes in the air. I mean, let's fly in formation, if you will. Let's be an example of what's possible. And it's not from a condemnation, it's not from a superiority or being better, because I'm sure all of us have been on the ground at one point in time. A plane is going to get on the ground to refuel eventually. But that's not the intent of a plane. It has wings for a reason, right? And we have a lot of potential that isn't realized. And a lot of it is just based on belief systems, just based on words that people haven't questioned and haven't had their own experience of. So, yeah, definitely. 365, yeah, I see you flying. Logic Bad, what's good? So, again, appreciate y'all coming in. And, yeah, we'll do it again next Thursday. I just wanted to make this one short since we put the video up. But, again, the big questions, I mean, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it as well. But this is pretty much the conclusion I've come to. And, yeah, I think it's good to... Good to talk through, good to have this discussion, because this isn't something you're really going to see in mainstream, and it's valid. I think it's important. All righty, y'all. Appreciate everything. Love y'all. Y'all be safe.